Hey, what's up, y'all? Hassan Cox here. We are going to be talking today a little bit about this I'll do it on Monday segment. Just let me get into my zone, all right? I'm a little bit nervous. I'm gonna be drinking. Uh, Today we are drinking Pacifico, right? I'm gonna start. Happy Saturday to everybody out there. Um, and Salucita. Well, I wanted to talk to the YouTube channel and on here because I've been going through some stuff, right? And I wanted to make this little segment. It's called I'll do it on Monday. ¿Qué significa I'll do it on Monday? I'll do it on Monday significa que la gente es floja, right? La gente is lazy. They don't want to work. No sé, man. I gotta say, I'm a person that I feel um, I'm not really well connected, with people. I'm pretty much a lone wolf, right? Un solitario. Right now, where I'm at, I don't really have friends. I don't really know people like that, you know. Um, I also think it's become harder to to make friends, to stay friends with people, you know. I don't know if it's like that, eventually people get older y dicen, pues tienen familias y se vuelven como más hogareños, right? Like they just want to stay home and chill and shit. And, you know, I'm like, yeah, that's cool, but um, también tienes que trabajar. You gotta make money, right? And when you gotta make money, you're talking about business. Who are you gonna make business with? Who are you gonna deal with if you want to get a business going on, for example? Um, you're gonna deal with the people that are around you, right? That are in your circle, in your city, that you know and that you can trust, right? In Mexico, it's like nepotismo, right? Corruption. It's corruption every day in Mexico because you're not gonna trust people that you don't know. You trust people that you know. So that's why corruption exists. I don't know how they do it in the States or in first world countries, en donde literalmente puedes andar, trabajando con gente que ni conoces and you can trust them. That's why they said in Afghanistan, democracy didn't work because in order for democracy to work, the culture needs to trust in the culture, right? You need to trust individuals that you don't know, like for example, people that live in a city that you don't know, that you're going to be dealing with. So if you can't, like, come on, man, Afghanis, do you think they trust other Afghanis? Fuck no. Third world countries, third world country people don't trust third world country people, right? Not even first world country people trust them that much. I don't know. Okay, so then anyway, um this is going to be a segment where I'm going to be talking about basically life, right? And I'm going to be making some existential questions. Those of you that know me know that I'm an existentialist, right? I love the existential theory, especially from John Paul Sartre and from Viktor Frankl. Mm, the the theory, for those of you that don't know the existential theory, it's basically a theory about life, right? But like really life, like what is life? What the hell are we doing here? Um, where do we come from? And not only that, but like really living it, really experimenting it, right? Like when you wake up or when you just fucking, you're out like in the park, in the street, and or in a hallway walking, and suddenly you're like, oh shit, I'm alive, right? Like estoy aquí, like, and you freak out because of that. You think about, for example, like yesterday I went to this Gnostico class, uh for those of you that don't know, Gnostico is kind of like esoteric teachings. And bro, the guy that was there, he made me think like man, he tripped me out. I think he hypnotized me low key, because he was explaining how there's something in your body that leaves your body, like the spirit or some shit, when you're sleeping, right? And then it goes into the fourth dimension, I guess, the astral plane. And when you're in the astral plane, right? Well, you can do whatever you want, right? You're like conscious, you're awake. So what happens in the astral plane is that you don't know you're there. And he gave us this exercise. It's called Sol. In English, it would probably be like SOP or some shit like that, which is subject, object, and place, lugar in Spanish. And what you have to do is you gotta, like, when you're in weird places, you have to ask yourself who you are, but like, philosophically, like really, like who are you in that moment? Like, what's your role? Like, am I a speaker right now? Am I a friend? Am I just a drunk guy talking or whatever? What are you doing, right? And where are you? And then you're supposed to pull your thumb or your index finger. And he says if it extends, you're in the astral plane, right? You're like asleep but like awake, I guess. And man, but like the whole time he was explaining this shit, he made me think that I could potentially be there at that moment. And he's like, how do you know that when you came in to class today, I'm not some astral being that's like teaching you, you know? And I was like, damn, bro, that's crazy. I don't know. Really, I don't, because I have no reference points, Like, I'll have a reference point when I get out of here and I check my phone and I see the date and the time. And I'm like, okay, it's Friday, 8 o'clock, which is when we get out of class. I haven't missed work, I haven't, so I'm still where I last left myself, right? But yeah, if you think about it, you could be like, I'm really like this is a dream, basically, like I'm in a dream. But I think that's like getting like a little bit deep into stuff, and then we don't really know what to do once we get that deep in there, right? Because you're like, oh yeah, man, it's so cool being in the astral plane. Like, I could fly, I could like extend my body like elastic man or woman or whatever the fuck. I could like jump really high. I could be really strong. I can ride a fucking pony or whatever. I don't know. But is that really what the astral plane is for? I would say I don't really think that's. I mean, I think we get, how do you say, like we get stupefied by what we don't know, but we know a little bit of, right? So if we know a little bit about this stuff and we're just like, oh man, we could like totally fly or some shit, it's like maybe that's not the point of the astral plane, right? But we can't really explore it. It's so limited to us. Even the experience of a dream is limited, right? Which is actually like a memory. Like you dream and it's like my dream was, and it's like, no, the memory that you have of what you experienced in your head, right? That's more accurate. It's not so much like the dream, there. And then it could become kind of difficult to distinguish between your dreams and your real life past, especially when the dream is not that different from real life, right? Because you don't really dream about unicorns and rainbows. You dream about shit that you know you could live, right? Or maybe you even have lived, right? Like yesterday, I remember I dreamt about Cerreo, the one that I'm listening to right now. This rapper trapper from Argentina. And why the hell was I dreaming? I was dreaming I was kicking it with him, right? And I saw some pictures of him kicking it with this other artist that I know, Aleman. And maybe it was because of the pictures. And I imagine myself like kicking it with him, like going out and I don't know, maybe hanging out with other people and meeting other people. But yeah, I mean that's like the dream thing. Anyway, so like I mentioned, I'm going to be doing this segment of existential questions. I'll do it on Monday. It's like, what does that mean? I'll do it on Monday. To me, it means like you tell a person like maybe let's say Friday, right? Or even Saturday or Thursday or fucking Wednesday or even Tuesday, right? Like whenever you tell a person like, hey, I need you to do this for me. And you may even pay that person, right? And they'll just look at you and say, oh yeah, I'll do it on Monday, which is kind of like in Spanish when they say ahorita, and they say that when people when you're teaching Spanish to somebody that doesn't speak Spanish, and you like translate ahorita for them, and they understand that ahorita means now, and they use and then when they hear it or they use it, they understand like now, but in Spanish it actually means like it could potentially mean never. Like if I tell you, hey, can you take out the garbage, and you say ahorita, that means maybe I'll do it like in the next couple of seconds, and the next couple of minutes, and the next couple of hours, and the next couple of days, weeks, months, years, or never, right? So that's what I'll do it on Monday means. It means that they might do it, but they may not do it. Now, where I'm living, they have this like kind of theory where they say that they take a long ass time. Like the people here take a long ass time to do anything, like paperwork. For instance, I fucking finished my master's degree in education in August, right? Because I'm a teacher. I teach English too, and then they're like, oh yeah, we'll have it ready in like 6 months, which was like August, I don't know, probably like fucking January of this year or some shit like that, right? August of last year to January of this year, that's like 6 months. And we're now in June, right? Mid-June, and they still don't have it. And I just recently went there like a couple weeks ago, and they said that, yeah, they don't have it. Why? Who the fuck knows, man? Who the fuck knows? I have no fucking idea. That's government shit. That's a bunch of assholes needing to do their job, which they aren't. I'm just here on a rant, and I'm here to just talk shit and also ask questions that I want the answer to, right? So this all started out because yesterday, as I was going to this class, I took the bus, right? And well, you know how it is on the bus, man. On the bus, you're looking out the window, and you just start thinking, right? So like philosophically, right? Like you actually have a time to think, um, which I think we don't really get a lot of in our day, because you're at home, you're with the family, you're doing something, you're at work, you're sleeping, you're eating, and you really never just have time to like be awake but not do anything, where you're just able to think, right? Just blank, like when you're meditating, you just think whatever the fuck comes to your mind, and you go with it, right? You're not like playing a video game or working on something, you're just thinking, right? So there I am on the bus, looking out the window, meditating, thinking, and then my ass, I'm 31 years old now. So when I turned 30, I started entering my Aries stage. I finished a life cycle at 30. So now you could say I'm more vital. I was reborn at 30, right? According to the zodiac sign, you start off with Aries when you're 0 years old, right? Your first year from 0 to 1, you're in Aries, and then the next one is Taurus from 1 to 2, and then Gemini from 2 to 3, and then when you're 3 years old, it goes up a year. So now you're in for the next 2 years, you're going to be in the next sign, which is Cancer. So from 3 to 5. So when you're 3, when you're 4, and then when you're 5, you hit Leo until you're 7, and then at 7 you enter Virgo until you're 9, and then when you're 9, so every 3 signs it goes up a year, right? Until you're 30, and you finish off with Pisces, which is the last of the zodiac signs. right? And then when you're 30, from 30 to 35, now you have 5 years on the sign of Aries. And then it goes on until I think you finish off the second cycle when you're like 80 or 90, some shit like that in Pisces again, right? But now it's like you went through the cycle once, and now you're going to go through it again, but on another level, right? That's why you see a lot of people like Eminem, The Rock, um, or even like artists start becoming famous, like actors and shit like that when they're 30, because they make a life-changing like event, right? Like I just recently, I don't remember who I recently saw, that when they turned 30, they started to like focus on their but there are a lot of examples, just Wikipedia people. And oh yeah, the oldest guy, I think his name is David Ayton or something like that. I was looking him up yesterday. When he was 33, he went to World War II, right? I think he was born in 1906 and he died in 2018. He lived till the age of 109, right? And I think the oldest person that has ever lived has lived up to 122, right? This French woman called Jeanne Calment or some shit like that. But this guy, he lived until he was 109. When he's 33, right? Jesus was 32, 33, too, around that time when he actually came out and he started preaching, right? Before then, he was just like, I don't know, he was missing or some shit. But this guy, he goes to World War III, and I mean World War II, and when he's 33, 34, 35, around there, because I think, yeah, the US wasn't in World War II until 1941, I think, until Pearl Harbor. And he comes back when he's like, I don't know, almost 40 in 1945, and he just lives in Austin, Texas until his death in 2018, right? He's a Taurus. May 11th was his birthday, and he's just, you know, living life. He doesn't have any kids. He smokes his cigars a day. He drinks his coffee, his whiskey. He eats ice cream and shit. He's just living life, being chilled, right? And yeah, I mean, like I thought that was pretty cool. I don't know why I'm talking about this now. I'm just ranting. But yeah, back to the bus meditation. Um, so there I am meditating, right? Excuse me. And I start thinking, but at the same time, I'm seeing things, right? And in the city where I live, traffic's a problem, so they're building like this fucking bridge thing, and they got people out there working, and I'm like, bro, how do they do that? Like, how do they get people to do things? When people don't want to do things, when people are always on that, I'll do it on Monday mindset. I ain't doing shit. Uh, we were passing by this house, and on the outside of the house, it's got the windows, and on the second floor on the outside, it's got this ledge, right? And on the ledge there's like pots of plants, right? And the plants look nice, and I'm like, who the hell waters that? Like who the fuck waters that? um you just look anywhere to anything in the city while you're out in the street. You look at these flappy things that are behind the wheels of like trucks. Who the hell puts those on there? How the hell do you like how do you negotiate that with someone? How do you negotiate things with someone and make sure they get the job done and make sure they don't fuck you over? you know so that's like my main question. In other words, I know that in order for people like for example, the government. The government says, and who the fuck is the government? Let's say like a bunch of like I don't know, three guys, right, in the government suddenly say, oh, we need to, we have the solution to the governor. Let's build this bridge, right, that's gonna make traffic flow faster through the city. Like, how do you even go about that, right? Like, okay, you need to like and I'm serious, like specifically, how do you go about that? Who do you call? Who do you email? Who do you get in touch with? Who do you ask? You know, what if I wanted to do it? What if I was like, oh, hey, I have money and I want to build a bridge that goes from, I don't know, my house to the next highway or my house to the next street or whatever. How do I even go about that? Do I look in the yellow pages and just, call up the contracting people and be like, or the construction workers or the architects or the what, and just say what, like, and then when they say, oh yeah, we're gonna charge you like, I don't know, 2 million or whatever for this project, and I just give it to them, how do I make sure they actually do the job? How do I make sure that the job is well done? How do I make sure that the quality is the best quality? You know, and you think like the governor should know this shit, or the president, or the mayor of a city, or it's like, so I understand that maybe these people, like I recently wanted to start my own business, like as an English teacher, and I was like, I want to teach English online, but I also want to, like, how can I say it? I want to network, right? I want to know people. I want to know a lot of people that I'm willing to work with, and that maybe I can have like different diverse uh a diverse range of different job opportunities. Like just recently, I went to this like physicians conference, and I interpreted for them, and like I met doctors. I met this American doctor, this Irish like physics engineer, because they were doing these things for to look into like an ultrasound type of stuff, to look into the stomach of a pregnant woman and shit. And yeah, I thought that was cool. So like right now, that I have like the entrepreneurial spirit. I've always kind of disliked entrepreneurs because I thought they were always kind of fake. But I'm kind of on that, I'm like, I want to get mine. I want to get my own dough. I want to become like my own boss. My grandpa was his own boss. So I know it kind of runs in the family. But first of all, it's like you got to dedicate a lot of time and a lot of energy, and you got to be really patient. And that's why they say you got to like what you do. Do I really like teaching English? I mean, it's not bad, and I know it, but it's not. I don't think it's what I like. Maybe making music is what I like. I'm not really sure. But anyway, what I really wanted to do was network, right? What my ass did, and this is, I kind of have two things I wanted to talk about today. The first is this, right? I wanted to start like my own business. I wanted to be my own boss, right? And then you may say, well, like, um, I think you either need one of two things if you want to be your own boss to start. One, you need money, or two, you need knowledge and experience in a specific area. I don't have money, but I have experience and knowledge in the teaching English arena, right? So I'm like, I'm gonna use that. Um, so I was like, okay, social media, yeah, I'll take care of that, but I don't really have like a lot of people on social media, right? And my contacts aren't that many, so you know, it's kind of like that was kind of like not that how can I say, no dio frutos, right? That wasn't really that um beneficial for me. Mm. So then I'm like, so I was watching these type of like how to start your own business videos on YouTube. And I came across this one that said you need to like you need to network, right? But before you network, you obviously need the people, right? And how are you going to get the people? He said, or this guy or a girl, I don't remember, said, offer your services or your product for free, right? And that has the intention or the objective of networking, of getting people, and I saw this with this one teacher. She gave a French class for free, the first class free, right? So she's like, first class free, and after that, you can pay for the class. So I took the class. Obviously, I wasn't going to continue in the class because I didn't have money for French class, but I went to the first class and I thought that was a good idea to do. I was like, hey, I'm gonna offer, like the first 3 classes for free. And that way I'm gonna get people, at least they're gonna be interested. They're gonna be like, hey, what's this about? I want in. Kind of like me. And I kind of want people like me. I want to work with people like me. I don't want to work with people that are scared. I don't want to work with people that are like, you know, that that get shook, right? That they're like, oh yeah, I'm scared. I don't know, or I'm not gonna do it because I don't even know who that person is. Oh, you know. No, I want people that are willing to risk, that are willing to risk, losing face. They're willing to risk their trust, or I don't know how the fuck you put it, but I want people that are willing to take risks, right? Like that. Like maybe I don't know this teacher, but I need English. I need to speak English. I need to learn how to speak English, and he's offering, and this says first 3 classes free. I'm gonna check it out, or at least my phone number's on there. At least I'm gonna send him a message like, hey, what's this about? I'm interested. So this is what I did. Um, I went out and I made like an ad, right? And my girl helped me with this, and we went all around the city, fucking putting ads like all over the city, because in Mexico you can basically like sorry self promote in the street, right? So you have like a light pole and you just stick it on top of all the many other like ads on there with tape, and we literally handed out like we went volanteando, we were handing out flyers to the people at this mall. We went to several malls. I mean, I did this shit for 8 days straight, nonstop. Every day I did it. Every day we handed out between 50 to 75 flyers, right? With this information to people. We posted them on the street. We went out to this really like far away place. Like it's kind of far away from the downtown area. It's in the north of the city, and there's like these 2 ramps on either side because there's a highway. And in order to go from one part of the highway to the other, you need to cross like this pedestrian bridge, right? And there's a big ass mall on one side, and then on the other side there's like a Walmart and like a bunch of like restaurants and bars, and there's like an Office Depot and shit like that. There's a Petco there too. And yeah, we were just like handing them out to people, putting them on the fucking on the bridge, right? Because on the bridge there's a lot of ads too of different things. um we went to schools, we went to another mall, we went to a park. We went to I don't know, we hit up places every day, right? Just like cold. Well, it's not cold calling, but like cold, I don't know, just like that, like, hey, you're interested, English class. People would take it, some people wouldn't. um I was actually hoping to kind of start talking with people on the spot, like, oh, for them to be like, oh, what's this about, man? And I would be like, oh, this is for English class. Are you interested? And kind of like get a conversation going. Nah, that didn't really happen. I was actually aiming for that. My goal wasn't really to get. My goal wasn't really to make money right now, as much as it was for me to network and build like my networking circle, my social circle, right? So guess what happened? Nothing. Right? So like on this ad, was the Zoom, because like it's an online class. So obviously that's a big disadvantage because a lot of people don't like online classes, right? I think there's a lot of filters you have to get through because first of all, English is a is a subject and people don't really like to study. I guess people prefer to work than study. I prefer to study than work. But first of all, you need to be willing to study. Second of all, you need money because it's only the first three classes free. Eventually, you're gonna have to pay, but it's not that expensive. I think it's like almost the same as it is for any other place, like 50 pesos an hour. That's like not that much, like maybe 600 a month with 3 hours a week. And so you need to be able to want to learn English. You need to have money, and then you need to be able to have class online, which is kind of hard because when the pandemic was around, all of us teachers that were teaching, we started teaching online, and it was kind of hard for some, but I actually adapted really well, and I actually prefer online teaching because it takes away the element that many people like the most, which is the social element, right? This element of like chatting between the halls in class, goofing off and talking shit. Because when you're in Zoom or when you're on an online class, you can only interact with the teacher. You can't interact with like your classmate, right? So many students get bored of that. They say, online classes is boring um, because I don't talk to my friends, right? Because there's no like recess, there aren't many breaks. It's not like let's go to the cafeteria and grab, like a sandwich or a water, a bottle of water or something. No, like you're at home, so you're bored. You don't like to study. You don't like whatever they're teaching you. So I understand that part, but as a teacher, I don't really like, I used to kind of be the teacher that would be like, "Oh yeah, what's up, guys? I'm your friend." But they walk all over you. So you have to like set limits, boundaries, they have to respect you. So you can't really talk to them like they're your friends. I don't. So, you know, for me it's just like good morning, good afternoon, hello, goodbye, and I just teach and that's it and leave. So doing that online is like no biggie. It's basically the same thing that I do, right? Because I don't have this social like need to be like fucking goofing around and goofing off and shit. So I was like, yeah, that I like the online classes, and but many people don't. So that was another filter that they had to go through. They had to go through the filter of them not knowing who the fuck I was, you know. Even though they had my number, they could have at least hit me up or something, or asked like, "Hey, what's this about?" No, nobody did shit. Nobody. No, I literally had zero, zero communication, zero contact from anybody. I didn't have one single person that was like, "Hey, what's this about?" Or I even designed like a kind of like answer that I was gonna send if they were to like hit me up, and I was gonna say, "Hey, yeah, it's about this is the objective, this is the cost, all these are the hours, the days that we're gonna have class." Nobody nobody hit me up. um Nobody contacted me. So I'm kind of like distraught by this, I'm kind of like, what the fuck? Because like I said, my objective was to network. My objective was like to to get to know more people, right? And to let them know that I'm able to provide a service, which is teaching English, teaching different types of maybe courses like on personal growth or humanity or type those of things. But yeah, I was disappointed also because I didn't really see any benefit from this. Mm, so that situation makes me think, well, while I was doing this like campaign of ads throughout the city, I guess you could say that that was aggressive, right? Because I said, okay, how am I to get the quickest possible, the best possible outcome and the quickest possible outcome? Just go through the city doing this, cold hitting up people, cold calling, English available, first three classes free, no strings attached. You can just check it out, see if you like it. If you like it, you continue. If not, then you just fucking like don't connect online, like it's no biggie. But no, nobody took that up. So I was like, how, and I understand. If to a certain extent, I understand. It's like, what am I crazy? Who the fuck is gonna be? Even if they have money, even if they're interested, even if they're not afraid and they like to take risks, who the fuck is just gonna do that, right? Like, go on there, go online, and be like, oh yeah, who the fuck are you? You're gonna teach me English or whatever. Um, and I think it's maybe a problem of commitment also, because even if I, because I've had students that are like, yeah, I'll have the class, but then like they stop going. Or even in university, I teach university students. In the first semester, you have a lot of students, and then as the semester goes on, or as the semesters go on, a lot of them drop out, and they're usually the students that from the beginning weren't really that committed to begin with. They were late, they didn't go to class, they didn't turn in assignments, whatever. um so yeah, it's like a commitment thing, because even if people were like, I'm interested, I have money, I'll take the risk, but I'm not committed. They got that I'll do it on Monday mentality. You need to pay me. Oh yeah, I'll do that on Monday. You know, you need to come to class. Oh yeah, I'll do that on Monday. You need to turn in your assignment. Oh yeah, I'll do that on Monday. You know, and they make up a lot of excuses. I deal with people because I deal with students that they're making up excuses all the time. Not all of them. It's actually a few of them, but I'm like, fuck, man, are you really serious right now? They miss like the whole semester or the whole partial or whatever, and then they come to class and they're like, yeah, uh I'm gonna turn in all my assignments like at the very end. And I'm like, all right, let me see them. And they're like, yeah, but I don't have them. It's like, you don't even have them? How the fuck do you dare speak? Like, so it's this whole like networking thing, I think, takes years, if not, how can I say it, if not generations, to establish, right? So maybe my answer to the question, and I'm really pushing it, I'm pushing to find answers. I'm like, what's the answer to, like, how, I don't know, they want to put up a gate at some park, right? The government. How do they go about that? Who do they hire? There's a lot of people working. There's a lot of people involved, supposedly, to get that going, right? In Mexico, they have this thing. I don't know if in the States they have it, but they're called lonas, which they're basically like sheets. They're like it's like a cloth, like a plastic piece of cloth, and it's got the ad right on it. Whatever, for whatever price, at wherever place, phone numbers, like, to advertise your business. Or sometimes businesses, they get those things. And I'm like, who does that for them? How do they make sure, like business people, you walk outside and you see a lot of businesses, you know, and some of them are locally owned. How do they do it? How do they fuck with the government? How do they pay their taxes? How do they make sure that the suppliers don't try to screw them over, even on a personal basis? How do companies make sure that the people, like for example, the Coca-Cola trucks that are driving around, how does Coca-Cola make sure that its employees don't fuck them over? you know how do they make sure that they're not stealing like a couple Cokes here and there because they're not gonna notice? you know so they have these things, right? As I was saying, that they're called lonas in Mexico. I'm not sure how they're called in English, but how do they get people to do those things? How do they, like I was also seeing this, there was this girl that went missing in Mexico. There's always like girls going missing, and then they were showing on the news clip how like the people are just all gathered together. They got the shirt of the girl, they got like the lonas, like paper made out, like really nice design, different types of designs. I'm like, who the fuck does that? Who pays for that? And I'm not asking it like, as an insult. Like, who really does, like, specifically, how do you go about that? Someone goes missing, and those people need to have a network, because who the hell is out there protesting, you know, for them to find this girl? Their parents? Their parents are two people, their brothers, their cousins, or, don't they work? Like, are people really not that selfish? Because I know if I ask somebody for help, they would be like, I'll do it on Monday. Like, hey, I got this situation. Can you help me? Oh yeah, I'll do it on Monday. I don't really have anybody, maybe besides my family, that would actually be like, I'll help you. Well, yeah, like I got friends, like there's some people, but how do you get a group, like a big ass group? I'm talking like 50, 70 people to work together for one common thing, or to work together at all. When there's so many interests involved, there's so many people that, oh, we should do it like this. No, we should do it like that. How do you get everybody to agree to do it a certain way and not the other way? You know, to me, it's baffling. I don't understand it. Maybe I haven't lived it, and I've actually only lived the opposite of that. For me, I think they're part of the secrets of life, right? Um, and I also think it's a generational thing. I think when people are like, oh yeah, well, I could put a bridge in your city, or I could do that Lona thing, or I could, you know, have, like recently they upgraded all the police vehicles. I don't know if they upgraded the police, but the police have like new uniforms and like new squad cars. I don't know. I think they're still the same people, right, with the same training, but I don't know. Anyway, how do you go about that? How do you get people to be like, all right, I'm going to give you 50 brand new police cars with this type of, equipment, or this type of logo, or this type of car design, or this type of uniform? How do you get people to do that? How do you get people to do that and not fuck you over? you know so that's kind of where I'm at. That's kind of like my question. And my answer, the answer that I could potentially give it is, okay, so you need 50 squad cars redesigned, and I don't know, like 500 new uniforms for your officers. Yeah, I could do that. But who does that? I think the people that do that are the people that have always done it. Even like generationally speaking, you know. I guess like in the United States, there's people that probably went there or migrated there, set up their business, and then became like multimillionaires But what does it really mean to be a multimillionaire? You know, are you really rich because you have money? Or are you really rich because there's so many people that you know and you work with and you influence them so much and they influence you so much that you both are so committed and are able to do what you say you're going to do? You know, because I believe for sure if people work, they can accomplish things, right? I mean, if you say you're going to do something and I say I'm going to do something and we both do it, then things are going to get done. If we get 100 people to say they're going to do something and they do it, we can get things done. My question is, how do you convince, how do you influence people to do that, right? Because people are always on that I'll do it on Monday mentality. You know, they'll say, yes, I'll do it on Monday. But then Monday comes and you're like, did you do it? And they're like, oh, no, I'll do it on Monday. I'll do it next Monday. Right. So they're not going to do it. They're not going to do it because why won't they do it if I ask? Because I'm nobody, because I don't have any influence, because I'm not famous, because I don't have money, because my family is not important, because I don't know anybody who's important, right? Because I'm not well connected. So I'm a nobody. So if I ask somebody to do something and they say they're going to do it, they won't do it. They probably won't do it. And if I pay them to do it and they say they're going to do it, they're not going to do it and they're not going to give me my money back, right? So that brings me to the second situation that I currently have, which is with this fuck bitch lawyer, um, who I hired to do a job. I'm not gonna divulge the details, but I hired him to do a job, and he did the job legally. But right now we've been at a place where he's supposed to deliver, where he was supposed to deliver since January, and now it's June, so it's basically been like 6 months too. And this motherfucker hasn't come through, right? And for like the last, I don't know, probably since March, I've been on his ass. And he's like that. He's like, I'll do it on Monday. I'll do it on Monday. He's always like, yeah, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll take care of it next week. You know, and on top of all that, I have to be the one to seek him out. I have to be the one to ask him, you know, how's the fucking process that you're supposed to be finished with going? You know, because he hasn't contacted me ever. It's not like he tells me, oh, hey, how's it going? I couldn't do it this week, but you know, no, nothing like that. If I don't ever contacted him or contact him again, or if I don't ever like say anything, he probably will just forget about me, right? And yeah, it's kind of a complicated situation because I already paid him the money, and I regret so much paying him the money, right? Um, because my dumbass made the mistake of trusting this fuck bitch ass motherfucker, right? And I shouldn't have trusted him. I should have maybe given him like half of the money and told him I'll give you the rest when you come through. You know, when because right now he just has to hand me a piece of paper. Mm, the final one. And I think the situation is traumatizing me, right? I think the situation is like I don't know what to do. I'm worried because it has to do with other people too. It's not just like a me thing. It's not like a, oh, I fucked up, so I'm gonna pay for it. No, it's like I fucked up, and now other people are gonna pay. Like, and it's not that bad, but it does make me really pissed off. It makes me pissed off at myself. It makes me pissed off at the guy. Um, but again, we go back to this. Why am I in this situation? Because I'm a nobody. I tried threatening him with yeah, I'm gonna take your ass to court type of shit. And he's just like, oh yeah, no, don't worry, I'm gonna, get it done and shit. And I'm like, I could do that, but I don't really even know how to do that. And honestly, that would just be me like getting into more trouble. You know what I mean? For myself. Cause my ass would probably like try to sue him or whatever. And who do I gotta deal with? Another fuck bitch lawyer. Some more fuck bitch people who are gonna be like, oh yeah, we'll do it on Monday, we'll do it. And I'm just gonna get more pissed off, right? So it's like I wanted to be a somebody, right? And right now it's not like I'm giving up, or it's not like I have given up, but I'm at this like shock type of place in my life, in this moment of my life, right? I'm kind of like I'm just kind of on pause, right? I'm just like, whoa, like people aren't doing what they say they're gonna do. And it's not because they're doing me a favor. I paid this fucker, you know. Um the school where I finished my master's, I paid those fuckers. It's not like I owe them something. I don't owe them shit. They owe me. And that's where I'm like, I'm pulling my hair out. I'm pulling my teeth out. I don't know how the fuck you say it. Trying to figure out how to get them to do their job, how to get them to do what they're supposed to do, because they're supposed to do this. And it makes me think about all this other shit, you know, where I'm like, well, maybe if I were somebody with influence, I could just, straight up talk to their bosses and be like, yo, your people are fucking up, you know, and they would be like, oh yeah, I'll get on that. I'll get on that, Mr. Hassel. Don't worry, and they'll fucking like scold them out and reprimand them and fucking punish them or whatever for being fucking lazy, because that's what they are. They're just lazy and full of excuses. That's all they are. And they don't give a fuck. They don't care about you because you're not someone threatening. Jordan Peterson said it, and he's a psychologist, and I think psychology also says it. People will not people will not do things because they are motivated, because they have an objective to get to, but they will do things when they're scared of something, when they're trying to avoid something, when they're running from something, when they're threatened, right? So the way to get people to do things is by threatening them, right? Which was kind of my skill when I remember when I did that interpreting job, and I kind of learned that from I have like this kind of business partner, and we're trying to kind of like get our business going on too. And so this business partner of mine, he told me that this guy that he knew needed a translating, an interpreting job for physicians or whatever. And I said, yeah, I'll do it. So it was supposed to be 2 days, Friday and Saturday. And I went on Friday, but he even told me before, he's like, make sure he pays you Friday, right? Like as soon as when you're finished working Friday, make sure he pays you Friday, because I don't really know him, he said. And I was like, okay, I'll tell him. So then, like, that was Friday morning, I worked. And then Friday afternoon, I send the guy a message. I'm like, hey, can you pay me Friday? And he's like, yeah, I think I can. I'll do it on Monday, right? I'll do it on Monday, but I think I can. Obviously, this asshole wasn't going to do it. So then my friend and I, my business partner, we talk in the afternoon, and he's like, how the job go? Because we were trying to figure out if Saturday he was gonna go or I was gonna go, or how we were gonna handle that from the business perspective. And I'm like, yeah, I went well. He's like, has he paid you? I was like, no. He's like, nah. And he told me, he's like, tell him this: if you don't pay me, I'm not going tomorrow. And I also told him, if you don't pay me by 7, I'm not going tomorrow. By 7 p.m. Friday, I'm not going Saturday. I'm not going tomorrow. So I threatened his ass. And come 7 p.m., he was sending me a message like, hey, just hold on. The transaction app is not working or some shit like that. I was like, oh, yeah, whatever, cool, bitch. And then like 15 minutes later, he's like, yeah, I already transferred you the money. Right. And that's when I learned that threatening people makes them do the things they said they were going to do in the fucking first place. Right. Because, honor, commitment, like having how do they say, like palabra in Spanish, like your word is worth shit. You can't trust people. If they say they're gonna do something, they're not gonna do it, you know. um so yeah, that was a situation with the translation. And that was kind of a fucked up situation because, yeah, I mean, like, if I preach and I'm like, I don't mean to preach and like sound virtuous or like, like I'm, because I'll give you this example. The next day, Saturday, I wasn't going to go and interpret, right? And I actually told them that because my business partner was supposed to go. He didn't want to go either. So I told him like I'm not going, and the guy was pissed. He's like, and then he told me, he's like, that I would have paid you either way. I was like, fuck no. I told him, yeah, being fake, being civil, right? But I was inside myself. I was like, fuck no, you weren't gonna pay me. And maybe if I wouldn't have threatened you, and I wouldn't have made you like force you to fucking pay me with that threat of like not going Saturday, which I didn't go anyway. He probably would have been like, "Oh yeah, I'll pay you like on Monday. It's the weekend. I'll pay you on Monday, next Monday. I'm having problems." He would have been full of excuses. There would have been absolutely no way I would have been able to made him pay me because I wouldn't have had any leverage on him anymore. And he didn't know me. He didn't know who I was. Sometimes that's kind of like a threat because they say, "Oh, you don't know if he could be a bad guy." But I think the majority of people don't give a fuck. If they don't know you, that's even better for them because they say, "I don't even have to pay this motherfucker." Right? Like I was reading this book on Michael Cohen. It's called Disloyal. Michael Cohen was Donald Trump's lawyer during his presidency, and he's the one that went to jail. And he was talking about, like, he mentions how he would fuck over his suppliers, right? uh, Basically how he would have people do jobs for him, like and like really, how can I say it, like really practical jobs like painting. It's not like, oh, conspiracy theories or presidential shit. No, like, he bought this like real estate, or he bought this thing like this like big mansion thing, and they were painting it, right? And then the people that were painting didn't get paid, and they were like, hey, when are you going to pay us? I'll do it on Monday. Did they have any leverage? Were they important in any way to him? You know, because I think that's where nepotism and corruption comes in. Because you're like, hey, I'm gonna do this for you, but the way that I make sure that you're gonna pay me is because my father knows your father and your grandparents, and they go golfing. So if you fuck me over, that's gonna be kind of bad for the whole family dynamic we got going on. You know, but you're somebody, you're wealthy, or you're connected, or you got daddy, or an uncle, or a master, at least in some kind of way you have someone, you're connected, you're networked, right? So I think that's kind of like you go to school and you learn math and science and history, and it's like, man, the social dynamics of life are fucking so complex. Those are my questions. Those are my existential questions. Those are the type of answers I want, and I'm trying to figure out, right? Like, what if I'm a kid in school and I ask the teacher, like, how can I be wealthy, or how can I build a bridge? How can I get I don't know, if I have a company teacher, how can I get 50 trucks delivered for sure, and that they're good quality, and at the best possible price, delivered at my door or at my company. The teacher's gonna be like, fuck it, if I knew how to do that, you think I'd be teaching you? Right? Because it's like, you're a teacher, but you're just teaching a program. You're not actually teaching me how to live life. That, I guess, that's what your parents are supposed to do. But again, if your parents didn't really do much in life, how can you expect them to teach you much? Right? So then you're left like abandoned, like isolated against the world. I think that's kind of like why in my youth, at least, I think I kind of saw that. That's why you get mad, you get angry, you know you're different. You're not, how can I say it? You're not special, you're not privileged, right? You're not entitled. You have to work. You're a slave. You're a slave. And there are people that are above you, will always be above you, even if you somehow manage to, brown nose your ass all the way to the top. You're still always, it's like this movie, what the fuck's it called? Parasite, right? With the Chinese or with those Asians. I don't know if you've seen it, but they're working, and I've kind of been in a spot like that, because I started teaching at this high school once that had like the wealthiest kids in the city, right? Like they were privileged, right? They had money, their parents had money, they had the best of the city, right? And I started feeling like I was part of their world, right? Like I was with them in a way, yeah, like I belong with them. And I started dressing a little different, combing my hair a little different, maybe even speaking or behaving differently. I got an iPhone because everybody at that school had an iPhone, like the latest gadgets, iPhone, these wireless headphones back in 2018, 2017. I'm talking, they're Adidas clothes, like high school, but like, we're rich kids, and they didn't worry about, their biggest worries were probably like, basic like high school drama shit. They weren't worried about, uh like money, at least. Maybe they had family problems, but they weren't worried about money. So yeah, it's like I think you can do things in life if you have like a master, right? Which at this school, or at this class that I went to yesterday, they talked about that. They said if you transcend to the fourth dimension, to the astral plane, you're able to have access to a master, to a teacher, right? To a guru, to a guide, to like a father figure, someone that knows what to do and is gonna teach you, right? I don't really have a teacher. Um, that's why I like to read. I like to learn. I watch, YouTube videos, and that's kind of where I'm at. Um, and I mean that I think in general that's kind of like what I wanted to chat about. I don't even know how long this has been going on. I'm just having a good time right now. Telling you a little bit about my life, how it's been up to now. Um, but yeah, I think the consequence of this too, I also wrote, is because of the pandemic. I think the pandemic made everyone like lazier, right? And now it's just kind of like trying to get back into that um, active activity time that we were in back then. Um, but yeah, let me know if you like this rant. I'm gonna go now because I think I've already spoken for a long time. But thank you for listening. If you listened up to this point, and if you want to comment anything, leave it in the comments. I'll answer for sure because I don't even really have that many subscribers. So share if you liked it, or if you just think that it will help somebody hear me. And I can do this again, talking about different things. Just tell me what you want me to talk about. I think I uh I think I have a lot to say, right? And I don't really care if people listen to me or not. If I want to say something, I'll say it, and I'll upload it to YouTube, or I'll rap it in a song. So until next time, I will see you all. Peace out.